Welcome to my live stream. Rob the Maritimer here, Rob Moore. Apologize for my voice. I've been sick for the last week or so, pretty much ever since I went live last Wednesday. So, yeah, my voice is a little messed up. Not a very productive week, to say the least, but I'm here. I said I'd be here on Wednesday. I'm going to try to do this every Wednesday at 1 o'clock, well, noon Eastern time. It's 1 o'clock here in Halifax. So it'd be, 9 a.m. on the Pacific Coast, Vancouver or LA, and it is noon in Toronto, New York, and 1 o'clock here in Halifax. So again, welcome to my live stream. If I could get a thumbs up from people that everything sounds okay, that'd be great. In the meantime, let me just quickly go through what I'm going to do here on the live stream today. First of all, I think I've got my pop-up chat system working here. So if I click something here, it should pop up. There we go. So if you want to put a comment in, I can make it appear as I'm answering your question. So I had that working a while ago, and then the last couple of streams it wasn't working. I don't know. These things can be complicated sometimes. For those who don't know, I'm using OBS to broadcast live on YouTube. In the past, I have used StreamYard, which makes this sort of thing much easier. But I don't currently use StreamYard. I've been learning how to use OBS. A little bit different. Some things are not as easy, but other things there's a little more flexibility to it. So just trying something new these last several live streams that I've done. Anyways, Pamela Powers, I see you're here joining us. Welcome, Pamela. Thanks for tuning in once again. And you say the sound is good. Awesome. That's good. So yes, I've got the audio levels. I've got my microphone just out of frame. So I have that turned up a little louder than normal so I can be heard. If I'm doing a voiceover, I would turn it down a bit and bring it closer to my my mouth. But for a set like this with live stream where I want the microphone out of frame, that's the way I do it. So got my assistant Peanut here joining me. No, you stay. She's gonna knock something over. Don't knock that over. There's some vacuuming going on outside my office, and Peanut hates that, so she's trying to hide from that. So she's gonna be in with me, right? Yeah, no, it's not gonna hurt you. Anyways, so yeah, so everything seems to be working okay. So. Excuse me, let's get started. So actually, I'm glad, Pamela, that you're here, because the one thing that I know I want to demonstrate today is something that you asked me about, and that is to do with putting a vertical video or image, I think it was in your case, into a widescreen video and how to make it look good. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do that. I believe Camtasia is what you use, so I'm going to use Camtasia to demonstrate that. I have, let me just put it right here. I've got Camtasia open on my other monitor, so we'll be able to demonstrate that and how I go about doing that. But before I get into that, so let me just lay out this live stream. I'm just going to quickly recap what I did last week. Then I'm going to do the demonstration on Camtasia and how to do what you were looking for, putting vertical videos and images into a widescreen video. And then we'll just do a Q&A. Actually, the Q&A I do as I go. So if you have questions as I go through this, if I say anything that you have a question about or a comment, feel free to leave it in the chat box, and then I can answer it during the stream. I think I'm getting better at looking at the chat while I'm conducting these live streams, so that took some getting used to. And then I will finish by just kind of recapping what I did and just giving you a couple of bits of information about what I've been up to, what I'm working on right now, and then that'll lead into next week's live stream. Okay, so First of all, let me just quickly recap last week. So last week, I made a reel video live. I demonstrated making it here in the live stream. And when I say reel, I mean Instagram reel, but it could also be called a YouTube short or a TikTok. So basically a vertical video, a short form content, it's also called. And the reason I make those is basically to support my long form content. So my strategy is in growing a YouTube channel, I make YouTube videos, and those videos are generally widescreen, long form content, I call them. So my videos are anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes generally. Once I release a long form video, and this is really good practice to get into, it's good to, if you want to drive more views to it, one way to do that is to create basically ads that point to this video. And that's the way I look at short form content or reels or TikToks. So what I do is I will take my long video and then I will make a 1 minute, like I'll identify one part of that video that I want to showcase and make a very quick 1 minute reel short video about it, put it on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and then hopefully pique people's interest. And if anybody wants to see more, that video will point to the long form video and hopefully drive traffic to the YouTube long video. If it's a YouTube short, that link can happen right in the short. You can put a link to the main video you're referring to right in the YouTube short. In Instagram or TikTok, it's a little different. There's no link within the video, but what you can do is create a link in your bio or your biography, and that could be a link directly to the video or to your channel or to a link tree, which includes a whole bunch of links if you have multiple social media presences, if you will. So if you have an Instagram channel, a TikTok channel, if you have a website, let's say you have a Twitter channel, whatever. Let's say you have 5, 6, 7 different places where people can go and interact with you. You can use a service called Linktree, which allows you to create links for all those different things and then just put the link to your Linktree in your bio. So that's what I've done in my TikTok account and in my Instagram account. Is I've done it that way, and then that way perhaps people might be interested in the short form video and then go and take a look at my longer version, another way to generate traffic. So last week I made a reel and I showed you how to do it live in DaVinci Resolve, and let me just quickly pull it up here. Actually, what I'll do is I'm going to show you how it did. By going to, I'm just going to open up my YouTube studio. Let's bring this over here to my main screen so that I can show it to you, and I will show it to you like this. So here is, I've got this over top of Camtasia, which I already had open. So basically here is my channel. Now, in order to go find out, so once I made the reel online or live, I made the reel live. Sorry, I'm just going back to my other, there we go. I made it in DaVinci Resolve, and then I exported it, and then that was basically the end of my live stream. I didn't show that I uploaded it, but I did upload it later on that day. Now, if you look at, here is my dashboard for my YouTube channel. What I'm going to do is I go to content. Well, actually, this is the last thing I uploaded, which is right here. So you can see ranking by views. It ranked number 1 out of 10 on my, so this just shows for shorts or reels. YouTube calls them shorts. And it actually did very well. So as you can see, the gear storage battery charging closet, that is the reel I created. It got 544 views in the first 6 days and 20 hours. So that's 6 days and 20 hours ago is when I uploaded it. And that ranks number 1 by a lot, as you can see, out of all of my reels. So that was a nice surprise. If you want to see or dive into more detail as to how it performed, you can click here to go to Video Analytics. So I'll just open that up. And here you can see Can I zoom in? Might help a little bit. Yep. Yeah, so when I posted it here, you can see after the first day, which was right here, it only had 24 views, okay? I mean, I haven't done a whole lot of YouTube Shorts posting, so, you know, I wasn't that, what's the word? I wasn't that surprised that it only received that many. But then look what happened. About a day and a half into it, all of a sudden, boom, it kept going up. It was going, I was getting, I think it was around 40 views per hour. And that went on for about a day and a half until we got to 537 views, and then it leveled off again. So by 2.5 days in, it was at 541 views. And if we go all the way to now, it's had 3 views in the last 4 or 5 days. So that is just an example of the kind of traffic you can expect when just starting out on YouTube. And the way I see this, it's almost like YouTube is testing out the video that I made. So it'll get some organic traffic, I guess, and then all of a sudden YouTube decides, okay, let's start throwing this into people's reels, or feeds, if you will, YouTube Shorts feed, and then all of a sudden people were seeing it like 40 times. And then it's a bit of a mystery as to like how long are they going to keep it going. That was longer than I had seen before, and then it leveled off. Now who's to say? It may pick up steam again in the future. It may pick up steam if I add another video later on. Like say I put another reel out this week for this. That may boost this one as well. Who knows? I really don't know. But there are some clues here and there. Like if you go down below here, I don't know what's the best way to zoom this. Yeah, here we go. Key moments for audience retention. Well, it shows that, well, here's the 100% line. So this tells me that a lot of people watch it more than one full time. So on a regular video, long form video, you'll notice that the 100% is usually the highest. Like 100% of the people who watch it started watching it, and then you'll get drop off. And if you can keep half of your initial viewers staying throughout a video, that's awesome. Now with shorts, what I find, since they are so short, so this one is 22 seconds, you'll find that 22 seconds happens fairly quickly. So perhaps people, if I have different scenes, cutting to different scenes very quickly throughout the whole 22 seconds, which I did, that's the way I made that, then that'll increase the chances that more and more people will stick around and watch the whole thing. And that's what I believe happened. So it looks like, let's say like halfway through the video, if I look here, 76% of the people who were fed this video or started watching it were still watching it halfway through. That's high to me. Now maybe it's not so high as far as shorts go, but it was higher than I was used to. So I think that probably played a part in driving that extra traffic. But for whatever reason, YouTube decided that's enough. Not going to drive anymore. And now it's probably waiting for me to post another one. If you wanted to dive into this more for other videos, let me just change this back so you can see. I just went back here. So we got to that page by clicking here, go to video analytics, but that only showed us the analytics for that one video. If I want to see the analytics for all of my videos and be able to choose which one I want to see more info on, then you would go to content here. And then, so we're talking about shorts, so I'll click on shorts up here. And then here are all the shorts that I posted. So this is the one we just looked at. And if you want to see the analytics for any individual video, then all you have to do is click on this icon here that says analytics for that video. Okay, so we looked at this one already. We can look at this one by clicking here. That's the second last one. Oh, sorry. Again, not very good at looking at the chat. How we got here, genealogy. Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for stopping in. He says, good day, or good day. I don't know if are you in Australia? That's an Australian saying, as far as I know. I'm in Canada. Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for stopping in and commenting. So yeah, so here is the second last video that I posted, short video. It only had 196 views. Let me just zoom in on this part here so you can see. But as you can see, it had 2 spikes. Okay, so it had a spike here, 127 views in the first 6 hours. So that spike happened sooner than the last video. The last video, it took a day and a half before the spike happened. And then it went, it looked like a day or so, and then it had another little mini spike and got up to 193 views. And then that was, how long ago was that? So I posted this one 18 days ago. So that was quite a while ago, and it's been pretty stagnant ever since. And this also had the same idea. It was only 19 seconds long, but it stayed above the 100% line until, I guess we were about a quarter of the way through the video. So that was pretty good, but the last one that I did lasted a bit longer. So anyways, if you want to check out how I made that last reel that did so well relatively speaking, the best one I've ever done shorts wise, but still pretty small from a grand scale. Check out my last live stream. You can get to it from my YouTube channel, and it's the one that I posted or that I did live a week ago. And so what I do when I do these live streams, when the live stream is finished, I didn't do this for the longest time, but I figured out how to do it. Once the live stream is finished, within about an hour or so after that, I have the ability to go in and delete the first little bit of the live stream. So the part where I'm checking the audio, asking you if you can hear me and all that stuff. So I kind of cut that out. And also the countdown timer. I had a 5-minute countdown timer that was going along before I actually joined you. I can cut that out now. And then so if you go back and look at last week's live stream now, you won't have to scrub through the first 5 minutes of a countdown timer and listen to me try to get the audio right and all that stuff. So that's helpful. So anyways, yeah, so that was a quick look at the reel that I did last week. So I'm not making a reel this week. Going to do something different. Last week we spent time in DaVinci Resolve. And I also mentioned last week, and I'll mention it again because it's not finished, I'm working on a video on DaVinci Resolve comparing the free and the paid version. Because I was sick this week and I had other things to do, I didn't get a lot done of that video, but it's about 70% there. I'm hoping to have it released before I go live again next week, perhaps over the weekend. So if you're at all interested in learning more about DaVinci Resolve, take a look for that video when it comes out. I think it'll really help. Spoiler alert, most people don't need the paid version of DaVinci Resolve. I have it, but there's 1 or 2 very specific reasons why I wanted the paid version. And the paid version really isn't all that expensive anyways. It's around the same price as Camtasia is, actually. I want to say it's $250 or $300 US, something like that. For the paid version, but the free version is 100% free, no watermarks when you render your videos or anything like that. Yeah, look for that video when it comes out. Where are we here? Let me see. No, you don't see me. See, I've got to get better at looking at what I'm doing on the OBS. So I've got my Stream Deck set up. I have the certain buttons. So I just spent the last 5 minutes talking, and you were looking at a screen which was on my. You didn't see me. Anyways, I got to get better at that, and I will. So okay, what's next? Let's get into Camtasia, shall we? And I will show you. I'm just going to close this here. See here. So I'm going to show you, and again, this is in response to Pamela Powers, her question to me, which was how, basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but how do you put a or what's a good way to put a vertical video or image into a widescreen video that you're making and have it look good? Now that's not exactly what the question was, but let me just show you. I'm going to show you a video that has in it one what we're trying to do. So here we go. This is a video. This is a sample. Let me just show you here. Okay, it's this section here of this video. Let me just back this up a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Watch this little segment, not this part here, but there's a segment right after this that shows a vertical image in a widescreen. And I'm just going to show you how to, I'm going to recreate this in Camtasia. So watch this.
You have been nothing but trouble.
General Hospital
So
star
it's this section right here where you have
has died.
the middle
She
part.
was
It looks like
70
it's
years
slow
old.
zooming in. Let me just go back here. The middle part, this middle part here as the video plays is slow zooming in. Okay. And while that's happening, there's like a slideshow kind of going to the side behind it. Okay, it doesn't look like there's any blur or anything, but it looks like there's a bit of a darker, like almost like some kind of a mask over top of that to make the background look darker than the foreground. Okay, so let's just quickly watch that again so you can see exactly what I'm going to do.
General Hospital star Jacqueline Zeman has died.
Okay.
She was 70 years old.
So some of you may already have some ideas as to how to do this. It's really not that simple, but if you haven't done it before, perhaps it's helpful to see somebody else do it. So I'm just going to move this image off of this screen onto another screen so I can refer to it. Here we go. Okay, so now here we are in Camtasia. So first things first, I want to get so this can be done with images or video, okay? In this case, it was an image, so let's do it that same way. So let me grab an image off of the internet, and I'm just going to, here, I just opened up my Motion Array account. I typed in business woman portrait and did a search. Okay, and we have any number of images we can choose here. Let's just choose this one here. Let's click download. Actually, this looks like a video. It is a video, but it doesn't matter. Same thing whether it's a video or an image. No, let's do this. Let's do this as an image. So photos. Let's go to photos and do this search again. I can also show you how to do it with an image. Okay, so let's look at this one here. That is an image. Okay, so let's click on download. I'm going to grab that off the net. Okay, now let's just move this off to the side. And so here I have a project set up in Camtasia. Okay, let's bring this businesswoman into our project. Okay, now I'm going to cheat a little bit. So this is not exactly a portrait image, but let's make it a portrait image. And all I have to do that is crop this image. Okay, so let's just crop this in like this. And whether, you can do it however large or small you want. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make it exactly, let's change the project settings here to make it exactly, where is it here? There. Exactly portrait size. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, let's keep going here. See what's the best way to do this. Okay, that's fine right there. Okay, so there's, oh no, let's finish cropping this. Okay, so I have that cropped perfectly in the portrait dimensions. Let's change our canvas back. We'll change this back to widescreen, 1920 by 1080. Okay, so now here we go. We have a portrait image. Okay, and yes, I know I cropped this so I could uncrop it. That would be cheating. Let's assume this is the image we have and we can't do anything else to make it wider. Okay, so let's see now. What is the next step? That's actually not the same ratio as the other one was, but that's fine. This will work. Actually, it's going to give us a slightly different. Here, let me just make this. I'm going to make this a little bit wider, only because that's close. That more closely resembles what we're dealing with, which was this one here. Okay. Okay, so let's turn crop off. That is our image. Okay, so let's work on the background. There's a couple different things you can do here. We're gonna recreate this first one, which was the slideshow in the background. So to do that, what we need to do is create, here, let me make this bigger. Create more versions of this image, okay? Fit to screen. Okay, so let's just change my timeline scale a little bit here. Here we go. So now let's create, I Control C and then Control V to copy and make another copy of it. So now we have multiple copies. Okay, move one over here. Let's make another copy of this and move it over here. Let's take this middle one and put it on top. Okay, so starting to get the idea. Actually, let's hide this middle one. Okay, now we have a bit of a blank space here. The best thing, what do I want to do here? You know what? I think I want to line these up almost perfectly like this to create the slideshow. Okay. All right. This first one we're not going to have move. If we hide the first one, that's what we have. But in the slideshow, if you remember, it was all kind of sliding in behind. In order for that to work, I need to fill in this space too. So I need actually a fourth copy. So let's make another copy of this middle one, like that. Now if we hide the front one, the back three are all showing. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. So in Camtasia, whatever you put on the top timeline, that's what's showing through. Anything below that is being hidden by what's on top, and that's the same with most video editing software. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, if we quickly take a look at this one, we notice that the ones in the background are they're masked a little bit. Well, let's get the motion. Let's get the there's a couple different things we need to do. We have to get the motion down. We have to apply a darkening or a mask to the one in the background. And then the third thing is we want to apply the zoom to the one in the foreground. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what you do first. It's three different tasks. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all three of these, and let's just move it. So we want them to move kind of this way. Okay, so let's move it like this. You know what? I'm going to need a fourth one. Okay, so let me copy this. Copy, paste. That is another one. Let's put it at the end here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. This is going to start to get confusing if I 1, 2. Let's just kind of rearrange these. Is that in the right order? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Okay, so those four, and let's group them. I right-clicked, and I'm going to click on Group. So they are all grouped together now, okay? And they are in front of this one here being the one I'm going to have in the front, okay? So, but let's just hide that one for now. So these grouped ones in the back, let's do the motion. So, oh wait, no. Let's ungroup that because that motion Okay, all right, we're getting a little difficult here. So yeah, when I group them, it crops out everything to the side, so that's not going to work. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to highlight them all, move them to here, basically where I want the motion to start. Let's see, what's the thing? Let's just have to think about this. Let's apply a little darkening. No, we can do that afterwards. Let's see now. The motion of these four, I want them to slide to the left. So the best way, there, we're starting right off there. You want to get your speed down as well too. So if we want to slide if we want to call all these, I should be able to just group those together and then apply a motion, but that doesn't seem to work. So Control Z, we're not going to do that. We may have to move them all at the same time, or individually. Animation. Let's drag an animation down here. Going to take some trial and error with this probably, so I may stop. I may not be able to talk as much as I do this, as I'm trying to figure this out as well. So let's trial and error. Let's see how long. That's obviously too fast. If I make that animation go over the entire length. Okay, first I notice there's easing, which I don't want. So let's change this easing to none. So it's a constant speed. That actually looks like a good speed that I want this to happen in. Okay, so if that is the speed, and that's where I'm starting, I should be able to copy this over to the other ones. Okay, so let's copy that. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this... Okay, I know what happened there. Let's just, I'm going to adjust my tracks. Let's just zoom in here a little bit more. Let's pull this up a little bit so a little closer to the center of the screen. So let's drag another one down here. Make sure there is no easing, which there is not. Okay, now at this point, I want this image to match up with that other one. So what I will do is I'm going to hold down Shift, so I'm only dragging sideways like this and move that there. So are they moved together? Yes. Nice. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Okay, so there's that. Now for this third one, same thing. Let's bring another animation down. And this one, at this end point, we want to match up with that one. So let's hold down Shift and we'll drag this over. Okay, we're getting a little quicker now. We're going to trim these off at the end. So let's bring another custom animation down to this one. And we're going to apply a loop effect as well so that we don't have to do this for very long. And now this, there's no easing, right? So I'll bring that to the beginning. And this one, again, we're going to have it move, hold down Shift, and bring that to here. Okay, so now. In order for this to loop properly, I want this to actually end. So let's just play this through. Best thing for me to do is to have, so I'm starting with this first image at full frame, right here on the left, and I want to end the loop with the third image at full frame right here. Either the third image or the fourth, right? It doesn't really matter, but this is the speed that I like, so let's stop it here. Okay? If I should be able to, well, I'm not going to need this fourth one. Let's delete it. Now let's highlight all three of these and let's split them at this point. Okay, S is for split. And let's delete these. I hope this works. Okay, so there's that. Now, if I just copy these, copy, and paste them to the end, should that not give me a looping effect? Let's see. Oh, no. Okay, did not. Of course, I see why. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. The reason is it's not when the third one is full frame, but it's when the first one is no longer full frame. That is when we want it to zoom. And in fact, I'm going to Control Z again and bring the fourth one back. We do need the fourth one. Okay, so let's cut them all off here. That's where the first one should start over again. So now let's try this. Let's copy these and paste them here at the end. Does this looping work? Haha, that worked just great. Okay, now let's change our scale. So how long does this take? That's about a 9-second clip, okay? If we wanted this to be, let's say we want this to be twice as long as that, we can just highlight everything here, copy, and we can paste it all here at the end. Okay, now that's almost 20 seconds long. So let's see, just make sure all of our transitions are smooth enough. Yeah, no, that worked pretty good. So you can, you know, if you want this to be a minute long, you can just keep copying and pasting and make this as long as you want, okay? All right, the motion is done. So next thing, let's put a little mask over all of this. Now, again, this is not something I do a lot of, but I know it's something you can do in Camtasia. So let's go look for it. I want to go, is it annotations, callouts, visual effects. Let's try that. I know there's a mask here. Here's a mask here. What's that kind of effect is that going to give? No, that just goes on top of something. You know what? I think the best thing to do is, let's go back to annotations and let's drag a shape over top of all of this. I'm just going to apply, a darkening shape to this. So we'll add our shape. I'm going to make the shape the size of our video. Okay. Now I'm going to change the color of the shape to black. Okay, and now I am going to change the opacity, start lowering that, and the background, what am I doing? Oh, that's of the outline, sorry. The opacity of the shape, if I lower that, now you can start to see the background show through, okay? So that's probably good enough, 64%. So now it's just a darkened background, okay? Now that we've done that, we can unhide the main image, and you can start to see what we're doing here. You see that? So that's a way to highlight this image. Let's stretch this image over the duration of the clip, which is just about 20 seconds. Couple other things we can do here to make this look even better. One, let's add an outline. Okay, so to do that, let's go into Visual Effects, and let's go, where's outline? I know it's here. Border, okay, border. Drag a border down on this. Okay, visual effect was added, so now we go up to the right, and border, the color is white and the thickness is 1. So we can increase the thickness like that. You can see how that's changing. Let's also play with the scale a bit. I'm going to drop that a little bit. Let's change that to 29. Okay, so now you see the entire border. Okay, now one other thing, or there's two more things I want to show you. Slow zoom, and we're also going to blur the background a little bit. So first of all, let's blur this background. So the background being the images in the back here, that all I've done so far is I put a black mask over top of it, and that just darkened the image, but the image is still sharp. For a better visual, we can add a blur to that. So let's go up to Annotations and go into our Blur and Highlight section, and let's bring, which one is it? It's this one here. Bring the blur down. Okay, now I'm placing it underneath the main image, but over top of the background images. Okay, and now we have to drag this over to the full size of the video. Okay, let me just hide the main video so you can see what this is doing without the blur and with the blur. Okay, let's drag it out over the entire duration of the clip. Let's unhide the foreground image. All right, and then that looks even better, I think. And you can change the amount of blurriness you put to it. Blur, opacity, position, skew is at 0. Oh, that's not what we want to do. What am I doing there? Oh, here we go. Intensity is at 81.3. Well, we can change that. We can go way up and make it super blurry, or however you want to make that. Okay, so that's roughly where it was. Last thing is a slow zoom. Okay, so let's highlight the main image, okay, the foreground image. And if I want to add a little bit more motion, let's do the slow zoom. So I like where that's starting with all of the border visible. So I shrunk it down a little bit so that you can see the border in the top and the bottom as well. Let's go ahead and add a custom animation to this. Okay, and this is the starting point, which is where we want it. Let's put that at the very beginning. And the ending point, which we will drag out to the end, whoops, drag out to the end, with the playhead on the ending of the animation, let's go change our scale. And let's scale it up to, let's say that. And let's go right to the end. Now, let's check our easing. And in this case, I think we might want easing, which means the animation will start off slow and then be at its fastest in the middle and then end slow. Okay, so let's change that to auto easing, which is what that is. And let's see what that looks like. It's very slow because this is a long clip. But you kind of get the idea. You can see it zooming. Okay, if I wanted it to happen faster, I don't have to have it start at the beginning. I could have it start here, right? Or even here. If we just want it to zoom in the middle, we can do it like that. So it stays like this for a while, and then the zoom starts right here. And then it stops. And let's say, if you could do whatever you want. Let's put another animation back here. So if you drag an animation to the end of the clip, after this animation, the properties that it starts and ends with are the same as what that ended with, if that makes sense. So if we want this to go back to where it was in the beginning, best way to do that is highlight this beginning, right? And let's right click here and we'll copy properties. Okay, and now let's go to the end of this one. We'll right click and we'll paste the properties. Okay, that'll have it bounce right back. So here's the end of the slow zoom, and then it bounced back. Now that looked like it was linear, which we don't like, doesn't look as good. Let's go to auto. There, and we can have that happen right at the very end, say. So we have the slow zoom, started there, slowly zooms in, then it holds there for a while, and then bounces back at the end. Okay, what'd you think? Excuse me. Is that good? Did you learn anything from that? There's other things you could do. Obviously, we could add music. I was just recreating that one portion of that video. So that's how I would do it in Camtasia. It's not necessarily that easy, but if there's a will, there's a way. You just have to attack one part of the problem at a time. So you had to build the background, right? You had to line up the animations of all the different elements of the background so they all happened in sync. Then you applied the blur and the darkening of that background. Then you put the foreground on top of it, and then you add some highlights to make the foreground pop out. Excuse me. I just thought of one other thing you could do to the foreground. If we go back here to really help it pop out more, and it might not be as good with this being a dark background, but you can add a drop shadow, right? So if you go up to visual effects, and I actually have it in my favorites here, drop shadow, you drop that down onto the foreground image, and then you come over here into the properties under drop shadow, and we have drop shadow black. So you're not really going to see the drop shadow being black because it's a dark background, but you could change the drop shadow to a white and have it glow, or yellow even. Let's make it yellow so it's going to be obvious, right? Yellow. And then the offset, you can play with the offset. Okay, make the offset a little bit blurrier. Change the opacity if you want. Okay, so that's just something else that'll help make it pop off the screen a little bit more. I think actually white probably looks better if you just leave that on white, just like that. Okay, now let's just quickly take a look. So that's going to look like that. Okay, so I see something that that was affected. Since I did this after, so I applied that drop shadow to this clip at the beginning of this animation, okay? So all of these settings reset back to 0 by the end of it. So again, what I have to do, if I come here, and if I just notice the offset was 22, blur 40, opacity 64. If I go to the end and change all those to the same thing, 22, 40, 64. Let's do this. 22, 40, 64%. Does that help do it? Oh, and then there's the color as well. The color had to be white at the end, as it was in the beginning. There you go. has a weird effect with the background changing as well. But you get the idea. That's how that was achieved. If I go to the beginning here and copy properties and go to the end of this one and paste the properties again, no, that did not grab the, so 22, 40, 64. 22, 40, and 64, and we'll also change it back to white. So that should fix the drop shadow. Okay, yeah, that did it. So anyways, let me know if you have any questions about that. Pamela Power says, thanks so much. No problem. Feel free to ask any other questions about how to do certain things like this. I know you asked me, it was a couple weeks ago, so it took me some time to get to it. But that's what I'm here for, and that's what I want to use this channel for, to help people learn how to do certain things, or how I would do them anyways. I don't consider myself an expert in Camtasia or DaVinci Resolve, certainly, or any of these, but I can show you how I would attack a certain problem, and maybe it helps you learn how to do it yourself, or maybe you even have a better way. If anybody has a better way to do what I just showed how to do here today, feel free to let me know. You can send me a message after the chat, or after the stream, during the stream. Send a comment at any time. And I will respond. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to keep looking down at the chat window to make sure I don't miss anything. In the meantime, what's next? So today's live stream was a Camtasia demonstration. Last week's was a DaVinci Resolve demonstration. If anybody would want to know how to do what I just did here in DaVinci Resolve, let me know, because it can be done there as well. There are certain things that I find easier to do in Camtasia and certain things I find easier to do in DaVinci Resolve. Generally speaking, Camtasia is better software, and in my opinion, the best software for creating video tutorials. That's videos that involve screencasting, or capturing your screen, showing how to do something on screen. So whether that's in a website, in software, in an app, anything like that, how to place an order on Amazon, how to set up a YouTube channel, anything like that, how to use Camtasia, what I just did here. I mean, I could have made a video on this. This was screen capturing Camtasia, right? So I would use, more often than not, I would use Camtasia if I'm creating a how-to screencasting type video, okay? Because the screen capturing tools are built right in. I've used this for, it's got to be more than 10 years. I've been on Camtasia since version, I don't even know, Camtasia 8 maybe, maybe before that. I've seen it grow a lot over the years. But DaVinci Resolve, which I'm actively learning, I find better for editing longer, more traditional type videos of people, like talking head videos like this, me talking to the camera, adding B-roll to that. There's a lot of overlap. You could add B-roll to Camtasia videos as well. But if I'm making a video and it does not involve screen capturing, more often than not, DaVinci Resolve is probably the better video editing software to use to make it. It's just that my issue right now would be, I don't know how to do everything in DaVinci Resolve yet to the point where I know how to do it in Camtasia. I'm much more familiar with Camtasia at this point in time right now. And that's because my background is in making video tutorials. So I've made, oh God, it's thousands. I've made thousands of these types of videos over the years. And a lot of them aren't very complicated, but they really don't have to be. You got to remember, making video tutorials, the point of it is not necessarily to make them look good. I mean, it's good to make them look good, but the point of a video tutorial is to teach somebody how to do something. And you don't want to get caught in the trap of spending so much time trying to make something look so good, or maybe you're trying to do something so different, or there's something in your head you want to achieve. More often than not, the more complicated you try to make things in a video tutorial, you may be taking away from the actual message that you're trying to, or the actual thing that you're trying to teach, right? Or show or demonstrate. So that's a tip that I've learned over the years. Don't necessarily try to make a video tutorial complex or complicated looking just for the sake of doing that, just because you can, right? You may be taking away from actually showing. So basically what I typically do is I'll have a simple intro with a logo and a title. A lot of times my clients will send me animated intros with their logo. I don't make animated intros, but there are people that do, and if you want one for your own company, I strongly advise you going to a company like Fiverr. You could go to Fiverr, and there's lots of people that make animated intros there. The cheaper ones tend to be ones where they use a template to create one really quickly for you. But if you want something more professional, expect to pay for it, or more custom, right? They're going to cost more. And then you would get it in the form of a video, and then you can drop that into Camtasia as a video that plays before the actual video tutorial. So introduction, then you got your body, your main message, and in those I'll use zooms and pans, sometimes sound effects, highlights, just certain things to make. You always want some kind of motion going on. So if there's nothing going on the screen and you're just talking like a voiceover, you should introduce some sort of motion. So whether that's zooming into a part of the screen you're talking about, that's one way to do it, or having just a slow zoom that's happening over a period of time, or having some text pop up. There's a bunch of different things you can do to make it more engaging, more enjoyable to watch, to hold viewers' retention so that they continue to watch. That's the point. You want people to watch the video as well. The point of a video tutorial is to teach somebody how to do something, but they're not going to learn how to do that something if they give up on watching the video if it's too boring. So yeah, so that's that. That was a bit of a tangent. Let me just take a quick look. What are we going to talk about next? Yeah, so I finally got my text thing working, so I can click on a message. So Pamela says, thanks so much, you're welcome. I can click on it and show what you've said. So I don't know how I fixed it, but it fixed just in time. So to do, what's next? So for me, we're at 1 hour in, so I'm probably not going to be online much longer. If you have any questions you want me to answer before I leave, now's your time to post them. But in the meantime, I'm going to get back to work on that video that I have mostly finished that I want to post on DaVinci Resolve, kind of an introduction video that shows you what or how to use it, or what basically it shows you the difference between the free and the paid version, and why you may want to go with the paid version, or why you just might need the free version. That's all you need. If it's free, there's no downside to downloading it and giving it a shot. Well, I guess the only downside would be time. That's going to be your investment. It'll take you time to download it. But yeah, so I'll work on that video. The other thing I'm doing right now is I'm working on my Fiverr gig videos. So from time to time, if you do business on Fiverr like I do, your gigs are basically your advertisements. Okay, that's how you tell people what you do and what you offer. So from time to time, you should be checking your gigs and seeing how they're performing, and spice them up a little bit. Basically, refresh them. So what I'm doing is I'm redoing the gig videos, and I'm going to have another quick look at my description, make sure everything's okay, and I'm going to take a look at the my descriptions, the pricing as well, just to make sure everything is as optimized as it could be, because things change. new competitors come online in Fiverr all the time, and you have to stay competitive. So if you are getting more work than you can handle from Fiverr, then maybe you don't need to tweak your gigs, or maybe you could increase your pricing even if you're getting more work than you can handle. But if you're not getting as much as you would like, then look at your pricing and maybe try to lower it or change some keywords up, or maybe you're better at making gig videos now and you want to make another one. So those are the types of things you want to keep doing. So don't let things stagnate. If you're a Fiverr seller, you want to continually go in and work on making your gigs, look better. That way they will perform better. So I'm going to do that this week as well. Let me see. Renee Rosendahl says, thanks for this session. You're welcome, Renee. Thanks for stopping in and watching with us. Much appreciated. With that said, I think so. Yeah. So I'm going to finish the video. Going to work on my Fiverr gigs. Next week, I'm going to come back on Wednesday, same time. Also, let me know if this is a good time. Like if there's another time you'd rather see me go live, let me know and I can try that. This seems to work for me for now, and we're getting a few people in. Not too crowded right now, but that's to be expected. It's kind of hard finding the perfect time that will cater to people on the East Coast and the West Coast here in North America, not to mention anywhere else in the world. So who knows? Maybe there is maybe I should be going live at 1 a.m. Who knows? Maybe there's more Europeans who'd like to see me go live, or on the West Coast at a later time. So I may go on at a different time in the future, but for now, the plan is next week at 1 o'clock my time, so noon Eastern, is when I plan to go live again next. What am I going to talk about next week? I don't know yet. It'll be another demonstration like this. If there's anything you'd like me to do, let me know. Either in the chat here or the comments after this video is finished, and I will look at doing that. I'll add that to my list. But with that said, I think I am going to call it a day. So just over an hour. That's not too bad. An hour and 5 minutes. So is that right? Yeah, it's 2 o'clock. An hour and 5 minutes. Not bad. Good place to start, or to stop. Again, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.